what keeps you motivated?
What keeps me motivated is like truly like our team and like watching them grow and like thrive and like being able to like give people more opportunity. I think
Money doesn't motivate me. Challenge motivates me. And I
Absolutely.
see that with you, challenge motivates you. And I see that with you, challenge motivates you. And with that, money will follow.
Yeah.
You think I'm too old to become a bucks dancer?
I mean,
It's
you
not
could
even,
be
it
the
doesn't even
dancing
exist
grannies
anymore, you guys. It's
Oh,
gone.
I know, it's
So
gone.
sad.
Wow,
He
rude,
could be a dancing granny.
Rude,
Yeah.
rude. Hello, Jackie. Hello, Tiara.
Hello.
Hi, I am super excited to have Tiara on. Well, Jackie and I are both excited. Events to a T.
Yes.
She has a very multifaceted business. So why don't you explain to us all the divisions, and then we'll get into how they came to be.
Why do
Yeah,
you sound
absolutely.
so robotic?
Because I am a robot.
She's a robot.
Because
She has a very... What the hell was that?
well, I'm just saying because there's many parts of the venue.
Sound like I
Not
wound
venue.
you up.
See,
and then
you're
you started-
screwing me up.
goodness.
It's not a venue. It's a business. Okay.
Go ahead. I'm
Businesses,
sorry to
many
interrupt.
businesses. Yes. No, I will give you a little history of all the different businesses. I started as Events to a T. That's the event planning business that is 11, almost 12 years old.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. Wow.
That's not good because that makes me feel really old.
It's been a minute,
Because
right?
I met you at the Point.
I know.
12 years
so
ago.
long ago.
Totally
so
a
long
trip.
ago.
Okay.
That's crazy to think about. When I was sitting over there, I was like, I
know.
remember that.
So you started
venue.
12 years
12
ago.
years
I love
ago,
that.
almost 12 years ago.
And you still
Started
look
Events
21.
15. Thank you. No Botox yet. And yeah, so Events to Tea was like the firstborn baby of the business. But my husband also was working for Sound by Design for many years. And then
Which is an amazing company.
it
the
is,
best.
yep. And they'll be celebrating, we will be celebrating 30 years this year. 30.
crazy.
Wait a second. Sound by Design has been in business 30 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, 30 years.
No way. Paul
Paul.
has
So
started
Paul-
that company?
Yes, so Paul started that company when
Paul
he was a baby.
is her husband's brother-in-law.
Yes.
Well, their brother-in-law.
Oh my God, I didn't know that. Okay,
now you
thanks
know.
for sharing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I know.
So Paul started the
anyway,
business.
30 years. Go ahead.
Yeah, Paul
My-
started the business way back when. It's going to
Wow.
be 30 years old. We had the opportunity to purchase the business in 2020, and that's when we merged, Tori and I, my husband and I, merged our
Right.
businesses and started Events by Design. And Events by Design really became the parent company of all of our brands, but it also is our corporate division.
And I love the name.
Thank you.
It's great.
Thank
It is.
you.
It's easy.
Yeah, Events by Design.
Yeah.
So that became our corporate division, and then we have our wedding divisions, which are Events to a T, Sound by Design, and Films by Design, which is our videography.
And fun
team.
fact about Films by Design, T and I were on a vacation in Mexico when her cousin, I can't even talk now because I was so excited about it. When her husband called me, and we had a couple shots of tequila. I mean, it was later at night.
And I think he did too.
He did too.
Yeah.
And my sister's wedding was coming up literally in 2 weeks from the date. And my sister allowed me to go to Mexico before because I asked her. I'm like, whatever, fine, because I was helping her do the planning. So it was T.
Probably the wrong thing to have Jackie
No,
to go to
T
Mexico.
actually took on the wedding. She did my sister's wedding. But
Wow.
Tori's like, hey, I have this idea. And he was like so nervous. I'm like, Tori, just out with it. Like, what? And he goes, what if we did a wedding film for your sister? And I said, okay. And he's like, we haven't done it before yet, but we're thinking about doing this division. Could you guys be the test run? I'm like, sure. And at the time he was like, couple $100. I'm like, sure, fine, whatever you need for, rental, blah, blah, whatever. I text my sister and she's like, yeah, of course. Oh my gosh. Cause they didn't even hire a videographer.
Wow.
Cause it was like a thing, but it wasn't like it is
That's so
now.
true. This is years ago, right?
Yeah. I
About
mean,
a
this was
year.
2014.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That
Um,
wasn't a big thing at all for videographers.
No,
really.
I mean, it was,
Yeah,
but it
people-
wasn't
right.
to what it is now.
Right.
So honestly, Tony, who shot it, still looks back at it and is like, oh gosh, cringe, I should have done so many things. We, as the consumer, look at it and we're still like tears to our eyes. Like the shots were so beautiful. The video was so beautiful. And it's like we've all been kind of building our businesses together around the same
Absolutely.
time. We don't know what we're doing, but then we figure it out with each other and we bounce these ideas off each other and say, hey, and it's just become, I feel like, this beautiful community. I've got to know people through events to a T, Events by Design, Style by Design, you know, and a lot of her leaders will come to me for their accessories and stuff like that. So it's
Love
such
that.
a full circle moment where I get to see these women planning their dream weddings and they come to me and they're like, oh, I wouldn't trust no one else to get my veil from but you.
I
So
love
it's
that.
really
I
beautiful.
love
No,
that.
it's so
and,
special.
and that's a huge sense of community and obviously purchasing a company that started 30 years ago in Milwaukee by an amazing group. I mean, Paul and his wife are wonderful. I met them many years ago. And building such a great brand, and then you having the opportunity to take that brand and to merge it with your brand and create an incredible brand. How do you do it on a daily basis? It's just you and Corey, obviously the
It's
owners.
Tori.
Huh?
Tori with the T.
Tori. That's what I said. Tori.
Tori.
Oh, okay.
I'm lying. I said Corey.
did.
Tori.
But that's okay.
So you and Tori,
Yes.
built the company, this new company together, right?
Right.
Obviously with your team that works for you, but there's no other owners. It's just both of you.
Right, that's correct.
So how do you? I mean, you have 4 companies. How do you sleep on a daily basis?
Honestly,
do you sleep?
no,
or is your
we
mind
don't
always
sleep.
thinking?
And
don't
she has
sleep.
2 young boys.
I do.
I'm
yeah.
talking to her,
It's a
Jack.
crazy
sorry.
time. No, it's
Always
okay.
have to have the last word. I'm kidding.
And the first.
I have the first.
No, it is we often look at each other and we're like, wow, how do we even do this? This is just
Especially
insane.
working as husband and wife.
Yes, working together,
Right.
running this business, having
Sure,
2 kids.
sure.
But I think one of the biggest things that's just been so helpful is just we have amazing like leaders in our company. And so they've been able to like take things and run with it, and we're able to like focus on other things, how we're able to grow Events by Design while they're focusing on the other brands and really keeping those, you know, moving and
Right.
growing
Right.
on their own. And that's been just the biggest key in like
The
growing
key
this
is having
business.
exceptional employees.
Yeah,
and,
they're
and
amazing.
people that respect you as a business owner too.
Yeah.
I will assume that is one of the biggest things that they do. They've been with you for a while, correct?
Yes, we have a handful of employees that have been with us for so long. Like Dylan just celebrated 15 years. Emily celebrated 10 years.
And
we've
I
got
feel like I
Tony,
literally have known
over
these kids
15
since they
years.
were like
yes.
just fresh out of college.
But that really
true.
says a lot for them, and it says a lot for Paul that previously had the company too.
Absolutely.
You know, and going back to what we were talking about in a previous episode, our last episode before that we taped last week, you know, before yours, was just about how the compassion for what you do, and it sounds like you both have amazing compassion for what you do. You love it,
We do.
and
We
that
love
transfers
it.
to your staff.
Yes.
Well, and I
Yeah.
think the biggest thing that I've seen as an outsider looking in is that you guys truly appreciate your staff and you allow them to grow into positions.
That's what I wanted to
and
say.
you give them challenges where they don't think they're going to be able to do it, but you're like, hey, here's your wings, fly. You can do it. You can accomplish this. And I think you're very supportive, but also you reward them with trips and the community
Wow.
of, you know, doing things together, or like
Wow.
your scavenger hunt every year, which I think is so cute. They do a Milwaukee scavenger hunt. So there's a lot of team building, I think, and you can see it's almost like a family versus I'm going to work with my coworkers.
Right, and I love that because you know, and it's a little bit different for my company because of the way that I built my company. We don't have that massive of a staff.
Yeah, I have me.
Right. But with how you
And
do
Harvey.
how you are with your company, and many companies where people spend more time with you than your family, or at work than the family, that camaraderie and that rewards is so important. Let me ask you this question: what keeps you motivated? What keeps you motivated
question.
daily in your business?
I think like what keeps me motivated is like truly like our team and like watching them grow and like thrive and like being able to like give people more opportunity. I think that's like why we do what we do and like why we like continue to like want to grow and like push to grow is like because we, you know, we obviously want that, but like we like seeing our team grow and thrive and like giving them more.
Giving back.
Yes, absolutely.
I-
And
I-
obviously we love throwing amazing
Right,
events and
right.
want to bring those events to Milwaukee and put Milwaukee on the map and
Right.
continue to throw these
Right.
really incredible
I
events.
love that.
Including their killer New Year's Eve party
Yeah,
that
I
is
heard
starting
this
to
is
become
amazing.
such an amazing
Yeah.
talk of the town.
NYEMKE. It's
NYEMKE.
I
labor
love
of love.
I love your compassion, and I feel like you're the perfect guest here, and I truly mean that. And Jackie is the same way, and I am. Jackie knows this just from working with me years ago. Money doesn't motivate me. Challenge motivates me. And I
Absolutely.
see that with you, challenge motivates you. And I see that with you, challenge motivates you. And with that, money will follow.
Yeah.
When you're challenged and you conquer it and you become successful at it and you treat the people that are with you with the utmost respect, so many companies forget the people that they work with that made them successful. You
Yeah.
aren't successful as an entrepreneur in this business without the people that work with you on a daily basis.
And the
It
connections
doesn't
you
happen.
have over time. Like we talk about our connection from years ago, and
Right.
it all
Right.
brings you back, which leads me to the way T and Tori met through the Bucks organization, which you just did an incredible event for them, which shout out, Thanasis does his podcast here too, Thanalysis.
it.
So we have the Bucks connection
We're
here
sitting
today.
in celebrity.
This is
we-
his
we
chair.
might-
Yeah.
You're sitting in a celebrity chair. Touch it, touch it.
I'm going to
So-
let T tell her story of
Yeah, I want to hear the story, but I have one
Of
more
how they
question.
met.
One other question for her, really quick. Talked about the compassion with your staff. I've got to hear, and I don't think that person's gonna. We can go back a
Oh
few
Lord,
years.
where is this going?
I want to hear the most craziest story
The
that you've
craziest-
ever experienced
Okay,
in the
so
wedding
think
industry.
of that in the back of your head.
Think of that in the back of your
In
head.
the
We'll
wedding-
get back to it at the end of the show.
The craziest story in the wedding industry.
That's you've
That's
experienced.
happened.
Yeah.
Gosh, I feel like I should have
You could write a
wrote
book,
everything
right?
down throughout the years.
We'll get
because
back to
it
that.
would be a great coffee table book, honestly.
100%.
We'll get back to that in a few minutes.
Okay, thinking.
We'll talk about the Bucks connection. So T,
Yeah, let's talk about
Yes.
the Bucks connections
T
quickly. I want to hear
was-
how you did it.
T was a Bucks dancer.
Yep, I was.
So you know Melanie Ricks.
I do. I danced with her.
Oh my God,
For, like,
that
1
woman
year.
and her mother,
She's a
they
youngin'.
are, and her sister, they are amazing humans.
Oh my gosh, just to see
And
everything she's done.
And I know we're taking the spotlight off you for a second, but this
No.
is a connection. To watch Melanie when I moved here and knowing her mother from shopping in my store and seeing Melanie, this little girl,
Right.
and to where her success is, it just makes me smile so much.
Me too. When
Small
I go to
Milwaukee,
the
I love
Bucks
it.
And you
games
know
she's
she's
there. I see what she's doing on social
Kind,
media.
beautiful human.
I'm just like, wow.
So
I
you
knew
started as a
her.
Bucks dancer. That's so awesome. Oh my
Yes.
God.
Started as a Bucks dancer.
You think I'm too old to become a Bucks dancer?
I mean,
It's
you
not
could
even,
be
it doesn't
the
even
dancing
exist
grannies
anymore, you guys.
Oh,
I know, it's
So
gone.
sad.
Wow.
You
rude,
could be a dancing granny.
Rude.
Yeah.
Rude.
Well, you said you like to play his closet. Let's put a
The
wig on.
dancing grannies, I'm done with you.
Okay.
I need a new,
Yeah.
I'm going on Craigslist and putting an ad in for a new co-host.
Okay, bye.
Go ahead. So tell
great.
me.
Okay. Excuse
Bucks.
me.
It's okay.
Okay. Anyways, so my Bucks years, danced for the Bucks for a couple of years.
Wow.
Met Tori while I was.
He was
I
a rim
think-
part of the
rocker.
team.
I think you guys used to practice at the WAC.
We did.
You did because
Downtown.
it drove me crazy. I'm trying
Us,
to work
like,
out and I
working out.
see 25 girls
Yes.
coming in to
Sports
dance.
bras and black pants. Oh, I remember
I love
that.
it. You're right. You're
Yeah,
right. Oh
sports
my
bra.
God.
I had to have a sports
I remember
bra.
that when I first
Black
moved
pants.
here.
Yep.
Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So danced with them for a couple years. Met Tori. He was working as Bango's assistant and also on the rim rocker team, which is the
Dunkers.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's awesome.
And
What do I look like? I don't know sports?
Well, I'm just saying.
I know. I'm gay. Go ahead.
And yeah, so then we just we met through the Bucks.
And so I think
That's
the
so
biggest
cool.
thing, this
So,
is why I brought it
that's
up.
So it's small walkie things like
It
that
is.
happen.
Yeah.
These stories are not a dime a dozen. Like not a dime a dozen, but there's quite a few great
And
stories.
this is why
like
I brought
that.
this up, because full circle moment. This is why never
Oh.
burn bridges, always be kind to where you
Oh,
work.
honey,
all
you
this
burned
stuff.
a lot of bridges. You just
Only
make
with
sure
you.
they're from out
Only
of
with
state.
you. I did a pause on you and boundaries with you. So you just did talk about an amazing event for the Bucks, which
Yeah.
I was following on Instagram, and it like literally had me in tears seeing what a beautiful event and have your full circle moment going
It
back
really
to the
was.
Bucks as a
Yes.
team together.
Yeah, it really was full
that's
circle.
pretty amazing.
So yeah,
We-
talk about
really
it.
is, Tiara. That says
Thank
a lot
you.
for you.
Talk
Yeah.
about the name of the event.
It was the
and
6-man soiree, and
Yeah.
it was for the Bucks Foundation. And,
I love that.
Yeah,
And for people that don't know about the Bucks Foundation, they
basically raise funds to be able to like give back to the community. Like they might,
exceptional.
and it's not necessarily for anything. You know, I might butcher this, but it's not like a specific charity that
Right.
they're giving back to. It's just things throughout the year in the community
they
that
do, and
they're
they give a lot
funding,
to
like
us.
a new gym floor to
Yes.
an elementary school, or a program
Right.
implemented into
Right.
a sports program, maybe like implemented into a school. So just different things within
Sure.
the community that they're able to help fund based off of the money that they raise.
So
Love
all the followers have to go on to which Instagram to see behind the scenes and the actual event because
So-
it's insane.
Yes, so they would follow Events by Design
Yeah.
because that's our corporate nonprofit brand. So this would fall under that service category.
It was
and
so high end and incredible and beautiful, and you guys just nailed it.
I love that.
thank you. It
So,
was
so
so
Tiara,
amazing.
I'm curious, and I know I asked you like what is it that makes your drive, etc. Compassion. We talked about that. What are the 3 things? And let's just separate the other companies because I don't want to go
Yeah.
into like building 4 different companies, but events by T.
Events
Tell
2T.
me what that company did. It was a wedding planning and day of coordination.
It still is.
Yep,
It still is.
exists.
Yes. No,
It-
I'm
yep.
sorry, Jackie. You're
Yeah.
correct. Jax, it still is.
Yes.
So you take the bride from day one, and you take them all the way to the day of their wedding, right?
Yeah, so for Events to a T, we only do full service planning. We don't necessarily do just day of coordination.
Got you.
We do
Okay.
offer like a smaller tiered package that's
Right.
partial planning, but we technically like to be involved from start to finish. And that's honestly a decision that we've made a while back just to,
And I think it's a great decision in that field
yeah, it's
because
just
you're
like,
doing it all for the bride, and you're not. And you're taking the full responsibility for them.
Right.
And you're not cleaning up messes that were made till the day of. I would
yeah,
assume
day
that
of
would
coordination
be.
is honestly like very difficult to jump in
Yeah.
a month or 3 months out.
Sure.
before the
sure.
wedding.
Especially if you're
and try
not
to, like-
spending one-on-one time with them like all
Right,
the
right.
time.
And no matter what, you are the one representing that day. Like even if you didn't plan, their day from start to finish, you're still getting the
The heat.
for it.
You,
if
you know,
something
you
doesn't
you have
go
such
right.
a beautiful demeanor about yourself, your personality. Really, I mean, it's natural. It's not
Thank you.
fake.
She's
You know,
like sweet
I
tea.
see fake. I
Sweet
see
tea.
fake people every day of my life. I come across them, and yours is just very personable, which is why you're so successful. But I guess the question is, you being so kind. Have you ever just had a bridezilla? Somebody
Oh.
that is just so challenging that
Yes.
no matter what you did, no matter what you said, nothing is right.
Have you ever had to fire a client, like get rid of a
Yes.
contract?
Yes.
You have?
Uh-huh.
Wow. And how long before? Well, because
Tell
I'm
me,
not
I
saying
wanna know
that-
about it.
I
Let it
know,
talk
but
about
wait,
it.
I'm
might-
not saying that like in anything to like get you in trouble. I've had it where I've had brides that are just so challenging and disrespectful the way they speak to me. I just say like this isn't going to be a good fit.
You haven't fired me yet.
Absolutely. It's basically that.
word
We
is
try
yet.
to like catch it. We
And
try to like
I say I'm disrespectful to you all day.
is yet. Yet.
So
Yes, yes.
tell me.
Yes.
Give me a one scenario
Okay,
if
Clay,
you can.
let her.
But I don't ever want you to where it's detrimental to your business.
no,
But
no.
give me something because I too can completely associate with you. Oh my God, my table book is gonna be the next. The do's and the don'ts and how.
Once you're
I mean-
retired,
Just
once
like
once we
stories,
all
just like
retire.
the crazy stories
Right.
that have just happened.
So what's
on
the
a day.
craziest story? Tell me. I
Oh
want to know.
God, I think that. Well, we've had some like unfortunate stories of like where, you know, somebody like has a heart attack.
I know,
on
that's horrible.
the
That's
dance floor,
happened to
you
me.
know, and it's like
We had a
we
groom
were on an
pass.
island, literally like
Yep.
you know, very secluded island. Somebody got, you know, sick and injured, or
There's some
you know,
very sad things that happened. Too.
yes. So that's like very scary, and just like things that we've had to deal with
Right,
for, you know,
sure.
a couple different times.
Sure,
and
definitely.
try
And it's
to-
emotional too.
It is. And then it's like to like,
It is.
this is also
Bring
so
the-
somebody's
right.
day
Bring
to
the
then like
because
bring
vibe
it
back up.
around.
Because you're
right? It's
you're very
hard.
much like a venue owner. You know, when they book with me, they become me. They become
Yeah.
with me, and from the beginning to the end, and my business partner too. And there's just been so many. And I'm thinking about it now, getting a little goosebumps because I did have a fiance where her husband just passed away a few months ago, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, you know. Our things say no refunds, but you know there are exceptions in everything in my business.
100%.
100%. And anyway, things like
That's
that
terrible.
happen.
Jail
So
would not be a refund. Someone passing away,
Yes,
refund.
absolutely.
jail would be a
Right.
visit. I'd go visit them. Okay,
like,
so go ahead. So yes, the sad part,
yeah,
but then
so
the craziest
craziest
thing that
thing.
happened.
Okay,
That's
let me
just crazy funny, but you're like, oh my God, I can't believe this. There's so many. Pick
There-
through one of them.
I just remember like there was a groomsman that just got really intoxicated, and
Before the wedding?
it was before the wedding. Well, it was during like cocktail hour where we really were like, this
Okay.
is a situation, and an ambulance had to be called.
Oh my
We had to like wheel him out in a wheelchair.
What did the bride do?
Oh my God.
We kind of just
Kept her
try to
the
like
side?
shield her from like what was happening
Yeah.
and deal with it. We like had the ambulance like pick up like farther away. And
Did
I
she
think
go with, or she stayed?
No,
Oh
she
my
stayed. It wasn't
God.
the groom. It was a groomsman.
Oh, I see.
and
Okay.
There's so
he
many
was just like
crazy stories.
intoxicated. I don't
Oh,
know. I can't.
the groom getting drunk, and I can totally empathize with what you're saying because one that stands out in my head, and lots of grooms get drunk before, because stupid me always says, oh yeah, we don't have a groomsman in this venue, you can just hang out and have cocktails. That's exactly what they do. I'll never forget the groom hitting on me towards the end of the night and
No.
saying, well, you could come with us after and we
straight
can have
wedding?
an after our party at the hotel. And I'm like,
Was it a straight wedding?
he wasn't good looking by any possible means. So this would not
Like
even
pass.
be if I was on a bottle of tequila and like, okay, maybe I'll do it.
Maybe if you Venmoed me $10,000,
Maybe
I'd
if I
think
go
about it.
blind and deaf completely. But anyway, so
Here's my
so
Venmo.
there-
Venmo me, and then we'll talk about
Yeah.
it.
So there are some crazy things, and you saying that just made me think of that. And I had never been in such an uncomfortable situation, and I'm sure you've been in those. The
Oh, yeah.
drinking part is the worst. At
It
weddings,
is like people just
isn't
getting
it?
overindulging, and it is the worst when it's like the bride or the groom, because it's like you're
And you
not
know,
gonna
you know,
remember
Do you try to
this.
like shove food at them? Be like, you should eat a sandwich.
anything, water, or like
Because
try
I
to get
forget
their
you're
maid
there
of
the
honor
whole
to be
wedding
like,
night.
Hey, let's try to help
Yeah, I
them
feel
out
like the
a little
maid of
bit.
honor
Tiara.
is the thing.
What's that?
I'll never forget, and Jackie, I'll never forget because now she's like strike, like I'm getting this strike. I'll never
all
forget
coming
my
back.
bride. This is my first venue, and she calls me the next morning and she's furious. And reviews, you know, you never know what kind of review you're gonna get. Thank God I get great reviews, but. The bridesmaids or the people are the ones that create the drama the next day and tell the bride what went
They
wrong.
get her all
and
riled
it's
up.
freaking horrible. So this bride calls me, and I was friends with her, and she says, "Thanks for ruining my wedding." And I'm like, "Ruining your
Oh
wedding?
no.
You just told me how wonderful I was last night before you walked out the door." And she says, "Yeah, but I didn't know you closed down the wedding at 10 o'clock." I said, "I closed the wedding at 10 o'clock because 6 of your bridesmaids and 6 girls at the wedding were fighting in the bar, and they were throwing things at each other. And I asked them, I couldn't even get in the middle of it because
I
I
heard
thought I
this
was getting
story
killed.
before.
And I'm like, you told me to close the wedding down.
Oh my gosh.
So the bride completely
Just
wasn't
forgot about
inebriated,
it.
forgot she told me, and this
Yeah,
stuff
that's bad.
happens, right?
Yeah. I mean,
It's
there's
crazy.
If you would like say like, okay,
What do you do?
what's
what
a
do
drink
you do?
limit? Like, be like, okay, have five cocktails throughout the night, or like, you know, I mean, you don't want to
No.
touch on that and tell them like what to do, but also like shots probably after 10 p.m. aren't a good idea if you're the bride.
Tiara, it's worse than a bar. It's worse than a bar.
I don't think I've ever really told anyone
Okay.
like, here's your limit
Cool
or
it.
like cool
Yeah.
it.
Right.
I might, if I know that they're like really nervous and maybe
Right,
they're like drinking
right.
because they're nervous, I might like just say like, offer other ways like, hey, do you want, to maybe do a first look? We didn't have a first look planned, and maybe you want to do a first look
So
to
you
like
kind of
calm
like
your
pay
nerves.
attention to their
or-
body.
Hold on,
and-
girls.
Yeah.
Girls.
No, that's really good.
Hold on. Speaking of drunk, we had a wedding. This was like 3.5 years ago.
Clay, do we need to get your Depends? Because you look like you're going to pee your
There's
pants.
people that steal. Hold on. There's people that steal, and there's kleptos. Okay.
Okay.
Kleptos can't help it. My great aunt was a klepto. We went to restaurants in Brooklyn. I remember
was your
as a little
great-aunt's
kid,
name?
we'd leave Aunt Blanche. We'd leave the restaurant.
Not Blanche.
And we'd open up her big
Blanche.
purse. Toilet paper was in there. Then the two utensils, etc. So we
My
had this
great grandma
wedding.
did that.
Everybody was just completely wasted at the wedding. Well, the bride failed to tell us that her aunt, when she gets really drunk, she becomes a klepto. She started stealing everybody's purse.
No.
So
Her
so,
aunt.
So she just take their purses, not the money or anything. She just started collecting the purses. So
So do you have to be on
then
purse
there was a
duty?
huge feud in the family, and the DJ had to make an announcement, and then the sister had to apologize to everybody and share with, dude.
So were you have,
business,
did you have to
dude,
be on
Tiara,
purse duty?
this business is insane.
Did you just call her Tina?
What?
Did you just call her Tina?
Tiara. Why? No, I
I
called
didn't
her
hear
Tina.
Tina.
Tiara.
Cantina.
I think you're deaf in your left ear.
It takes one to know one.
So with that said, there's some funny story. I mean, him
Yeah.
having an ambulance going is not funny, but the groom like having to leave the venue. Have you ever had a bride fall asleep at the wedding?
Never.
What
Like
about
disappear? Have you ever had
someone's-
them disappear?
What about anyone splitting their pants before walking down the aisle?
I don't think so. I've had
No?
like dresses that I've had to sew up.
Yeah.
A groomsman splitting their pants. Not necessarily splitting their pants. It might have been like something that I've had to sew.
My friend Meryl, she was about to dance and do the worm at a wedding, and she literally, it was like 10 o'clock. I'll never
Is that
forget
that
it.
white girls dance they do?
Yeah.
The worm. Okay.
Or was doing some kind of dance, something like that. It was at my friend Ann and Chris's wedding where they do the worm, whatever, fine. Her dress like split. So she had to go and change what she came in, jeans and a tank top. So this is my best piece of advice to the ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you have your outfit that's decent, not just like a pair of sweatpants and a
Yeah,
tank.
like a second.
Another
a second
dress,
outfit.
right?
As you're getting ready, just in case
Oh, I've got a
something
story.
happens. Because her dress literally split on the dance floor.
I think
So
if
I
I
don't-
was a woman, I'd have two dresses.
Well,
I mean, you know what?
some
If I was a
backup.
woman, I'd be changing every 30 minutes at my wedding.
Well, Clay, you're not a woman, but you wish you were. Clay's Closet
You're
coming
right, Clay's
soon.
Closet.
Channel
No.
4.
What I
Channel 4. I need a sponsorship.
no, what I was going
Would
to say
be
about
wearing
the
those
dress.
maxi dresses his babysitter was
Lord.
wearing.
Okay, let's refocus. I think you're getting too excited about dresses.
Oh my
Maybe
God.
next she'll wear a dress.
Can we let Tiara talk? This is
go
all
ahead.
about
no,
her, not us.
just piggybacking off of this dress situation.
Yeah.
I had somebody not split their dress. I mean, I've had people that happen to brides, but one bride's dress was just too tight. It was just so
The bride.
so tight. Yes, and she
Always
she wanted
size
that
up
Her
way,
boobs were hanging out,
but
right?
then no,
The
she
boobs
just
were-
like made herself sick because it was so tight. So she had to
Oh,
leave.
that sucks.
So
she
then
didn't
what?
have a second dress. She left the wedding.
What
she went
time?
Home.
She
At
left the
like-
wedding?
at like 8:30, 9
Oh
o'clock.
my God.
Yeah,
And she never came back?
never came back.
Oh my God,
Never
Tiara.
came back.
Tiara.
She made herself sick. Like
Tiara. Somebody hired a really cheap makeup artist.
oh no. Clay.
You know, I love having you on today because I just love your sweet personality.
I think
no,
maybe
but
this
you're
needs to
making
be our
me
third
think of,
co-host
you're making me think of the
because-
I'm hired?
craziest thing, like the bride that refused
Look at him,
to,
he can
hold on,
contain himself.
the bride refused to come out of the dressing room.
You're turning
hold
purple.
on, for the ceremony because the
yeah.
makeup artist did such a bad job on her
So
face.
what did she do?
It was horrible.
So what did she do then? Just erase her face and do her own makeup?
No, she ended up coming out, but she was crying profusely.
That's what
And the
happened.
makeup artist left, and she's like, I can't believe this.
This is the importance of
God.
getting
I'm like,
a
yeah,
trial.
First
run.
of all, why did you let a makeup artist do your makeup and not face a mirror? And a lot of times you're not
a lot of
facing
time
a
you're
mirror.
not, but
You're
you
right
have to
about
trust
that.
your makeup artist.
When I say
But do
horrible,
a trial,
I
for
mean,
goodness sake.
I mean 1980s blue packed on eyeshadow and
That's
blush.
what happened to
horrible.
me. I was a bridesmaid. I
Like
felt terrible.
rolling the brush.
Oh, no.
Blush. Yeah, it was bad. You just made me think of that. I'm sure you'll make me think of 1,000 more. So, the company.
Yeah.
Where do you plan to be in 5 years?
I think in 5 years we would love to like maybe own a venue. I don't know.
I love
That's
that.
kind of
Fun.
a goal for sure. to
Definitely a goal.
Be in a venue space potentially. I think just grow to do bigger and better events overall.
Sure.
I think
Not just weddings, but bigger events.
yes.
Scale, yeah.
Bigger events in general.
I'll tell you
maybe
what,
become a
probably-
little bit more like regional,
Yeah.
not just like
Yeah.
Milwaukee's definitely like our first focus.
Hub, yep.
Our first and I can't talk. Anyways.
First
but-
city.
First
Yeah,
and foremost,
First
our
and
first
foremost.
love.
and then maybe
First and
expand into other
foremost.
cities. You
First
never
and
know.
foremost. First
First and
brown
foremost.
cow,
You
now
know-
brown cow.
you know,
How now brown cow.
Tiara,
That's our first
Tiara,
focus.
Tiara, the
Milwaukee.
world is
Clay,
filled with
Clay,
opportunities for people that are, I said Tiara, not Tina. Jax. The world is filled
say T.
with amazing opportunities, and you know, I talked about it the first show. I was down, and then I came back up, and you know, you just keep going, and if you have something successful, and you're creating this group of humans in your space that you're building your company. There's so many different roads,
And I
avenues
think
you
you
can go
grow
through.
by your mistakes.
do.
Like you think of how many
And grow by
mistakes you made, and you're like,
too,
oh my gosh,
1,000%. Yeah.
that's how you make changes to your
Yeah,
business.
yeah.
Absolutely.
But
Always changing,
I
growing,
think of
learning.
one thing. I think of one thing, and that is Buck's Dancer. And I think I think of it as that grooms you for success. And I'm telling you why. Because when you're dancing, you have to remember, you have to be quick, you have to be fast, and you have to multitask.
Mm-hmm.
And that groomed you for
And perform.
opening and perform.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And what's funny is we have a lot of like former dancers on my team.
I love it. So if you can leave us with one thing about a business before we wrap up, what would it be?
One thing
For
about-
anybody going into the event business.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry.
Say one thing.
think. One thing is just
You're fine.
Say it.
Like say a fresh entrepreneur is like, I wanna be a planner. What's the first thing you'd be like, okay, this is the most important thing to do?
The most important thing is to like build your relationships and network and really find like your trusted team of people that you want to work with.
Love
I
it.
think that's like the
Love it.
biggest
100%.
And one more time for the guests again, the name of your company.
events by design.
Love it. Events by Design.
You're the best.
And we
Thank you
are
so much.
so happy to have Tiara on today.
Yay,
and
thank
of
you
course,
guys
my
for
amazing
having
co-host
me.
Jax. And tune in next week tune in 2 weeks for another great episode of The Wedding Files.
And make sure to follow us on social, on TikTok and Instagram for all the behind the scenes.
And don't forget Jackie's OnlyFans.
I'm not.
I'm
an
kidding, I'm
OnlyFans.
kidding.
It's Feet Finder.
Okay, we're done.
I love it.
Bye.
We